All right, we got Monty back. Let's pray we can get Ryan to actually join this time. I don't know what's going on with Instagram. Somebody don't want us to be on here, y'all.
Facts. This is a big time conversation.
Outweigh this negative energy here, though.
Right.
All right, so you went JUCO, right? You went JUCO because you did not qualify. So for those of you, teaching moment, for those of you that are hoopers out there that want to go to college, you have to take certain core classes to be a qualifier to get a scholarship to play Division I, Division II, sometimes even Division III, depending on where you're going. Go to NCAA.com, no, NCAAclearinghouse.com, and figure out what rules you need to follow to make sure that your work is not in vain. But go ahead, Monty.
Went JUCO, met Coach Q up in Tallahassee, feel me? Found out that I was playing on a torn ACL and a meniscus, and I had to redshirt my first year. And for those that don't know, redshirting is like when you kind of sit out your entire freshman year or a year, you take a redshirt year. So it doesn't necessarily count on the court. It counts academically, if I'm correct. Right?
Yeah, you're right.
Oh, I know something. All right. So I redshirted my first year. Felt really good. Was healing too crazy. And then, unfortunately, I came back home, started working out way too early, and retore my meniscus, maybe like 7 months out.
Wow.
So, obviously, Coach Q was hot because I was supposed to just get cleared and come back for that second year. I got this meniscus surgery, but everything just never felt right. And then I ended up transferring. So I went to ASA, where I met Coach Thomas.
Okay.
Right, boom. So I get to ASA. I'm feeling real good in the beginning, and then in practice, I tweak my knee.
Again?
And then, yeah.
So this is the third time?
Right.
Okay.
This is after everybody's telling me, like, the meniscus is healed. So I'm not really feeling good, whatever. I go through the year, don't have a great year. Ended up still getting a Division I offer just because Coach Jody she was like, no, I see it in you. She definitely gave me a shot. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
That's how I got Monmouth University. Monmouth year, I'm coming in, killing in training, like training the weeks of training. And my big Erica, God bless her heart, her 6'7" clumsy self comes over and hits me straight in that side of my knee, boxing me out, and my meniscus completely like comes out. So at this point, I was like, me and Jody sat down. She had a real conversation with me after we spoke to the doctor, and the doctor was like, I don't really see the chances of it healing 100% anymore. So me and Jody made a decision. She supported me all the way through it, and I was like, I'm gonna take it out. I took out the meniscus. 6 weeks go by, and I'm playing in a brace my first year of D1. I didn't do great, but I didn't have a bad year. You know me, like I still had games that I still competed.
Right.
Then end of the year comes up, and then me and Jody have an end of the year conversation. I end up putting myself in the portal, and that's when you kind of hit my line. And it was like, at that point, I didn't know what was going to happen. I didn't know how many offers I was going to get, what I wasn't going to get. When you had hit me, it was kind of like a blessing for me. And then came out to JCSU. Then you know how that goes.
I know, because I was there. Wasn't nobody else there.
How deep of a conversation we getting in?
Man, I believe, you know me, I believe in transparency. Okay. I'm getting great. Because this is the part that helps people. I see some of the players I train on here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's another Lil Monty on there.
What up, man? How y'all doing?
Like, tell us what happened. So you right now we are heading into school full, right? So you came out of high school, you went JUCO,
right.
Told everybody go JUCO because you need that development year.
Yeah, that's the grind.
And then you went to ASA in New York, which was another junior college, but a nationally ranked one.
Yeah.
From there, we ended up in Monmouth. You was killing. What happened at Monmouth? How you end up in the portal?
Oh, I got kicked out.
Oh, man. Hey, students, that happens. You can't get kicked out. So what happened?
I got kicked out. Yeah, I was. Yeah.
Look at the growth. Look at the growth. I'm so proud of you. All right, so from there, you go in the portal. You don't know what's going to happen. Wishing a prayer, and boom, you get a phone call.
Yeah, you hit me, and then I get out to JCSU. I meet Joyner. Joyner recruited me as a 1. and so you knew I wanted to play a guard. You feel me? Like, I felt like he recruited me as a 1, and I was going in there thinking I'm going to be a 1 or a 2, and I was playing the 4, and I was very. When I reflect on it, and I can honestly say this now, I never gave myself a chance to accept that position. I knew that I could, like, he was right. I could have played 1 through 5, but it was like I did not want to accept that in my final year. And I think that's where the battle between me and him came, because it was like, let me boogie. And he was just trying to, like, I felt like he was trying to.
Good day, sir.
Yo.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. I haven't seen you since, man,
Yeah, it's been a minute.
2009? How are you, bro?
Yeah, it's been a minute. I'm good. I can't complain at all.
Man, first, let me introduce you to Amani. Amani Clough also
I've been listening to a story. I ain't want to cut a story off. I was definitely listening, though.
How you doing, boss man?
Building here, Smith Love. Monty played at Smith, but Monty, go ahead and then we get in your story a little bit, Ryan, and then we'll let the conversation go from there.
Okay.
Before I start, how you doing, boss man? How you doing?
I'm good.
Nice to meet you, man. Where did I leave off at?
So you got there, you got recruited as a point guard. You come in, you at practice, and this man put you on the floor, and you like, wait.
Yeah, I think where I was at, I think I was so focused on, I put a lot of pressure on myself, which we all do as athletes. I put a lot of pressure on myself to perform. And him putting me at the 4 didn't seem like a part of the plan that I had in my head. And I wasn't trying to accept or find a way to navigate through that. So it just became a head-to-head battle. And yeah, I ended up, quitting my senior year. I don't even remember the game that it was. Huh? Where? Yeah, I remember that game.
Tournament.
Yeah, I remember that game like it was yesterday. I literally, like, I sat on the bench. I went into his office, and I'm like, I'm going home. Send him an email, and he tried to kick me out. He was like, I'm not letting you graduate. I was like, all right, whatever. But I asked him. He's like, and then his dad, Big Joiner, ended up saying, let her finish, and yeah, I ended up finishing, and I found some training, the guy that was training in North Carolina, and I just started going to his gym. I asked him, I said, like, I don't have a lot of money right now, but if you could work me out, I'll train your girls, your little kids, everything. And I just started keeping up with working out, and then I wasn't going to go overseas anymore. And then I got an email from, like, Euro Pro Connect, and it was like, you were on our radar. And that kind of just gave me, like, a little bit more motivation, like, yo, finish your story type thing. Like, I wanted to graduate. I knew graduating was for my mom, but it was like, yo, you got to go overseas. Like, everybody at this point don't even think you about to do this, Right. And it was like, we about to shock the world. That's what was my energy when I was coming back to the crib. Like, it was like, nobody's going to expect this. So, yeah. And then I grinded for, like, 9 months. I came back. I'm not going to lie. I was kind of, like, down for a little bit. And then I met Dash, my trainer. He was in, like, a hole in the wall in COVID when everything was closed off in the city. Me and Dash, honestly, we just got to work for 9 months. I was, like, go off the radar. You know what I'm saying? I didn't party. I didn't do nothing, put on weight. And he got me right. You get what I'm saying? And then look up, and then I was blessed to get one contract, one opportunity from a coach, and I went to Portugal, and the season was good. You know what I'm saying? They went from a Division II to a Division I. We lost one game that whole season.
Right. You put up buckets, too. You had numbers. Like, I was actually impressed.
Yeah.
Thanks. Yeah. I was like, I know that kid. I recruited that one.
I'm trying to be like Hezzy.
All right, man, ain't nobody.
Big fat. Big fat.
I'm trying to be like Hezzy.
Ain't nobody. I'm just somebody who didn't quit. That's all it is. I just didn't quit. When everybody else stopped going, I kept going. That's all it was.
I hear that.
So, Hezzy guy, man, you are everywhere I look. I can't open my Instagram without seeing you, dog. First of all, congratulations, man. Like, congratulations. I mean that. It seems like like what happened? The last time I saw you, you had on a Smith uniform, and we sitting around and we talking our talk. And then the next thing I know, you the Hezzy guy. Tell us how you ended up the Hezzy guy, man.
Honestly, when after Smith, when basketball stopped, I kind of, started trying to get money and kind of like, low key put basketball on the back burner. But then I started finding myself like getting in a little bit of trouble with trying to get money. And so my uncle was like, hey, bro, you need to get up out of Charlotte. I'm born and raised in Charlotte. So it's like I was at home the whole time. Like all my homies would pull up to the game. Like I was basically like troubled at Smith. Like, you know what I'm saying? As far as like bringing the outsiders in, you know what I'm saying? Like people who didn't attend Smith and stuff like that. And so after school, it kind of started to get me in trouble because I started to tap into the stuff that they was on, you know what I'm saying? So long story short, my uncle saw that I was like on that verge of doing the wrong thing and taking a lot of time. And so my uncle was just like, bro, come to California. It's so much basketball out here. You wasting your time and your talent. Just come. You can stay with me until you figure it out. And so I just hopped on the plane like that Tuesday and dipped. And I found a job at 24 Hour Fitness the first day I got there because I had a degree in physical education and kinesiology. So they just, boom, gave me a personal training job. And so I just grinded it out once I got the personal training job because I had access to a gym for 24 hours. So anytime I wasn't working, I was just in the lab. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't really have no friends because I was new out here. I had one homie and we would go party on Saturdays. Every Saturday we would go party, but all throughout the week, we was in the gym. And so I spent a lot of time in the gym picking up things that I should have been doing in college, like all of those cone drills and on the gun every night. But you know how it is when you're on that hill at Smith, like Coach Jordan, get up on that hill, you know what I'm saying? Like, once you get up on the hill, it's different. You ain't thinking about no basketball.
That's you and God up there.
Especially from Charlotte. That's a whole
talk. Real talk.
And it's a whole different animal. You feel me? Because I'm not, as a freshman, I wasn't just, you know what I'm saying, going to the calf. I was getting in my car and going to my grandma's house to eat Sunday dinner. You know what I'm saying? So it was like a little bit different for me and harder to stay out of trouble in that sense or whatever. But once I moved out here, I met Sick With It, N1 legend. My second day out here, I was playing in the league. He was playing on my team, just so happened. And like the best, like one of the best announcers I've met, better than Duke Tango, all of those guys who be on the mic. My guy Mouthpiece, he like the voice over Venice Beach or whatever, but he seen me play that first day. I had 40, like first day fresh off the plane. And dude was like, bro, your name, where you from? I was like, North Carolina. He was like, your name is North Kakalaki. And so I was just running with North Kakalaki for like the first 2 years I was out here. Then shit just started taking off, and the homies started Hezzy Fam, DeAndre Booker, who played with us at Smith. He basically started it, and I started repping it. You know what I'm saying? And he included Brian Scott, a bunch of guys we grew up playing with or whatever. And I mean, of course, we rolled it off at Jelly Fam, and I was just going with it. You know what I'm saying? I was like, I ain't gonna stop the homies' ideas. You know what I'm saying? You want me to be a part of it? I'm gonna fuck with it. I'm gonna wear the t-shirt. You know what I'm saying? And so I started doing it, and like people started representing me, just me as Hezzy Fam. You know what I'm saying? So I just took on the role of, all right, I'll put Hezzy Fam out there and make sure we all get a little bit of bread off of this. And basically, Hezzy Fam started growing, and I was coming down court one weekend at Venice, and the announcer was like, here comes the Hezzy God. And I was like, oh, shit, I'm changing my name on Instagram. Man, and then as soon as I changed my name to that on Instagram, my followers started going crazy. Who's this Hezzy God person?
They say the best handles come from somebody that don't know you, because they can see the real you. They can see
for sure.
Can't see.
Yeah, for sure. Trust me. The homie Mouthpiece told me when I first met him, he was like, "Give me 2 years and you're gonna be making bread." And I was like, "Man, get out of here!" Like, you know how many people tell you certain stuff, but he was like, "Just fuck with me for 2 years. You're gonna be making bank. I'm telling you." And everything he asked me to do for 2 years, like. Any little bullshit league he asked me to pull up to, whatever, I just pulled up and went at it, went hard. And most of the time, like, I reaped the benefits. So
Man,
that's basically how the Hezzy guys started.
I'm learning. You said so many different gems in that thing that I hope that the people listening got all of it. Starting with the hill, right? Everything that you needed to do to become the Hezzy guy on the level you're on now was completely buy-in. The only difference is you bet on you. Most entrepreneurs, or at least the great ones, they all have the audacity to bet on themselves and do all the work that it takes, right, to get there. I'm talking to people that have bet on themselves and are doing it their way, and that's just an amazing feat in itself. Let me ask you this, Monty. What are you working on now since basketball is done? Went overseas, right? Where are you at now with it?
Right now, my overseas experience, it was beautiful. I met some amazing people. I had a great team, but I know I could play, and I really want to make money at this point. Like I'm getting older. I'm craving stability.
Right.
I started the brand when I was in COVID, and when I was overseas, I changed the name just because I think I needed something more mature, something that I could brand, maybe bring and eventually collab with people and stuff, and it worked. So that's right now I'm putting a lot of my energy into my clothing brand and these pop-up shops, opening up doors and opportunities for girls in my city, because there's not a lot of opportunities that we had when I was even in the States. And yeah, and then my agent, if I can get a good contract, I'm leaving, but for right now, we'll see. I just want an opportunity to play.
But Ryan, let me ask you
But
this.
people, I'm sorry, but just to roll out what Amani said, like, people don't understand, bro. Sometimes you just gotta take every opportunity, little, big, whatever. You know what I'm saying? People like decline opportunities because they like, oh, I can get something better, but use that opportunity to put you in position for the better one. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
I hear that.
Absolutely. It changes things. I made a deal with myself a year ago. I had some health scares and some other things, but I made a deal with myself that I was going to say yes to everything, right? Like I wanted to create my own life, live life my way. So in that saying yes, it definitely challenges you. It pulls you, especially when you're older, right? We get stuck in our ways. We know what we want. But when you have that idea, that dream, and you know you got that work ethic, just work saying yeah. Let me ask you this, Ryan. I sat and I watched a bunch of stuff on your YouTube, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you always walk in the gym? There's always one dude that's just hating, that's just getting to just say whatever.
Most of the time, it's a gym full of them hating. I probably only got one or two of them that's really on my side. But I mean, to be honest, that's how I was raised, bro. I've never been the one that like got accepted. People don't know I got my scholarship to Smith in the barbershop. Like my dad cut Coach Acock, who used to be the head football coach here. My dad used to line him up before he started going ball, and then like basically I didn't have a scholarship. I didn't have a scholarship, but I had crazy football numbers in high school. But nobody picked me up because my school was kind of sorry. So Coach Acock seen I was still like eligible to be picked up. He signed me right then in the barbershop, brought all the paperwork, everything, because my dad had to sign it because I was 17 entering school. So my dad and them had to sign all my paperwork. And we did it right there. Like I got my scholarship right in the barbershop. And I was like, but before I signed, I was like, I only got one stipulation. Can I try out for the basketball team? And he was like, yeah, and if you make it, you can play. So that day, he called Coach Jordan. And little Steve was like, hey, we having a run up at the gym right now. Can he get up here? And Coach Acock was like, shit, he down the street. And I had shoes and shit in my car. I went up there. It was Ronald, Booker, James Dillard. All of them was there on their visit. And there was some dude that they had as like one of the top guard recruits with Ronald. I came down on the break, in and out of him on the break. He fell. I threw the lob to JD. Little Steve pulled me off the court and was like, hey, we need you signed right now. And that's how I got my scholarship. That's literally how I got my scholarship.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I didn't get a workout. I didn't get recruited. None of that. I just pulled up to the gym while they was playing and killed them and got a scholarship.
I tell kids all the time, I have a lot of, as a people ask all the time, how do you get a scholarship? And honestly, It's being a good person, man. People will your people having people vouch for you, carry you longer than the game can. At the end of the day, coaches get paid to win and to keep you on the floor, right?
Yeah.
Just be a good kid, man, and keep working.
But being
ahead.
a good kid take you a long way though, cause
It
shit,
do.
a lot of the kids who not as talented by just being a good kid, they get the opportunity. Cause it's like, all right, well, I know I may not get this from him on the court, but I know when we have to do media appearances and stuff
Or
like
he's a
that,
good
he
locker
not
room
gonna fuck
kid.
it up. Like, you know what I'm saying? He not gonna say the wrong thing. He not gonna use it to boost himself. He gonna talk about the team. He gonna do all the right things. Like, coaches is taking them kids over the ones who windmilling, because now everybody windmilling. So you're not really losing nothing on the athletic standpoint. You know what I'm saying? You got to make sure the kid somewhat mentally there, or at least mentally there for you to guide them.
Facts.
100%. 100%. It's different now, right? It's different in coaching and development, all of that. Like watching both of you, because Amani was the one versus one stuff trying to get a top camp for the women, and then watching her. Like, I put you two on together because your games remind me of each other. Both play off the bounce, quick first step. Monty is a little more finesse, gonna pull up mid range, but you straight to the yams, which I have trained a lot of players that got all that know when to use it. One of the things I appreciate about your game, Hezzy God, is that you only use the moves when necessary. Like you walk on the floor and it's time to eat, man. Like you've taken that mindset of basketball to eat. You go do that. Monty, you know you're gonna make 3 extra dribbles.
I got a question though. I got a question though. How you be hooping with all them chains on, blood? You be hooping with like 80 chains on.
No, I ain't have on 80 as a kid, but I've always had a chain as a kid. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that was one of the first little things my parents got me, and I was like, oh, I'm taking care of this. Like, you know what I'm saying? I still got chains from when I was little, like, you know what I'm saying? But it's just natural. It don't bother me. I'm just used to having something around my neck, even as a kid when I used to play. Like, sometimes I'd be halfway through the game as a kid, and the referee be like, hey, you got to take that jewelry off. And I didn't even realize I had it on. A lot of times I be forgetting that shit on just because I wear it all the time.
I feel you.
I don't even be realizing it's there, like, most of the time.
I hear that. You look hard though. It look hard. You feel me? But it's be like somebody gonna break your chain one day. Something.
Nah, it ain't been broke before, but I mean, I guess that's a part of the Hezzy guy character. I guess, you know what I'm saying. People that started noticing that, like, people noticed that, like, I didn't even, you know, I didn't pay attention to it, but everybody like, damn, Mr. T out there, da da da, and like they really pay attention to the chains and the sneakers for some reason. Like, they always be on my sneakers and the chains, and I was just like, dang, that's how we grew up. Like, having the best. If I was on the team, like, I'm gonna have different sneakers than everybody. Like, even when I played at Smith, Coach Jordan would get them the team shoes. I'd take my team shoes back to Champs, go get some shoes that was the same color, similar, as long as they was Nikes. He couldn't really say shit.
Yeah, I hear that.
Yeah, I was a brown girl in college. Never wore the team shoes. And coming from DC, everything got to be straight. I see you hooping in your foams. I can't wear those and hooping. But, yeah, it got to be matching. You walk on the court anyways. You play how you feel. So we got to look good. So we play.
That's a fact.
Yeah. So I have one question for both of you, and then I'm going to actually let y'all go. Not trying to keep it too long. The show is called Fillin The Gap, and the reason that it's called that is so that we can fill the gap. You two have made it to a certain level in basketball, right? Sports, your craft. Someone along the way, something happened. Somebody said somebody did something that filled the gap for you to help you connect the dot from going this hard to going this hard. But somebody helped you along the way. Or you can answer that, and I also want to know your filling the gap moment for somebody else when you pour it back into somebody. Whether it's basketball, something to help them get over the hump, right? We know that this game we play is mental. Life is hard on top of that. And then now everything's on social media. So anybody that has a brand understand all the work that goes into taking care of that. So share some of your mental toughness and just your filling the gap moments.
You want me to go first?
That's fine.
So a moment that was a pivoting point for me. Is that was the first question? Okay, so honestly, I would say it was Joyner.
Okay.
I could wholeheartedly say that for me because just that entire experience. I think when I quit, it was the first time that I made that decision to walk away from the game. And as a basketball player, you realize how much the game gives you, and
right.
When you take it for granted, you kind of, it's like a parent when you treat a parent bad.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? You don't treat your mama right. It's like, damn, like,
girl.
how am I going? Is God going to accept me? Like, how I treat my mama? Like, that's how I feel. Like, I feel like I quit on the hand that fed me for so long,
Right.
and that it was like my duty to kind of pick that back up and finish my story for me. I wasn't gonna die and let it be like, oh, I quit my senior year and that's the reason why I didn't make it pro. Like, that wasn't gonna be my reason why.
I feel you. So in that moment, that hard lesson filled the gap for you to be able to buy and not quit on yourself, right?
Yeah, for sure.
I could imagine that being a hard time. Walking away from everything is hard.
Yeah.
The game let you back in. That's one thing the basketball does. If you give to it, it will always come back to you. Just don't stop.
For
What
sure.
about filling the gap? Has anyone filled the gap to make things connect, or have you connected? You got a little younger. Whatever you do to help others, pay it forward, if you will.
I got a whole. You got it, brother. You got it.
No, you was asking me, or you said asking
I was
Mark?
asking Mike the same two questions.
I kind of had two filling the gap moments for myself.
Go ahead.
I'm not gonna say Coach Joyner, Coach Steve, but like just I guess breaking my foot as a senior. I broke my foot 5 games in as a senior or whatever, and like it was only 25%, and I only played 25% of the season. So of course I was eligible for a medical red shirt and stuff like that. But it was just the fact that none of the coaches, you know what I'm saying, none of the people in the front office that helped the athletes, nobody really was like pushing me to get my year back. You know what I'm saying? And it was just like, dang, that kind of fucked me up. Like I was a 3.0 grade average student. I broke my foot. It was hard for me to get to class crutching because Smith not handicapped accessible. So I had to crutch from fucking Smith Hall all the way to the stadium. You know what I'm saying? So you know how that goes. So I
didn't even give you a ride.
I might have went once a week.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I might have went to class once a week. So my grade point average went from really good to like 2.5, 2.8 because I bombed classes from just not wanting to crutch all the way to class. You know what I'm saying? And that was before like Coach Jordan and them would ride around on the little golf carts and pick up students and stuff like that. Like,
that's what
that was before they was doing all of that. And so I really had to like thug it out. Like I used to have to take a shower in Smith Hall shower with my leg hanging out because I had a cast on type shit. You know what I'm saying? Like that shit was a struggle when I broke my foot. And so I guess seeing how everybody treated me once I broke my foot, it was like I went from the man, everybody like, Ryan. Oh, that's the quarterback. That's the point guard. To I almost fell off the face of the earth. And I still went to the same school as everybody who was, you the man, you this, you that. And they kind of just put me on the back burner. And so that was a filling the gap moment for me in the sense of knowing like you could be up 1 second and everybody on your side. And then the next second, like
you by yourself.
Once you're irrelevant or once you don't have anything to offer, you in the back of the bus, you know what I'm saying? And so that was a filling the gap moment for me because I want to make sure I'm always somebody that you need. You know what I'm saying? Like whether I'm performing or not performing, you need me. You know what I'm saying? So that was a filling the gap moment for me, as well as my mom dying. When my mom died, it kind of was that, you know how like on those pictures where it's a dude standing in the middle of a narrow road and then you got right and left. You know what I'm saying? That's where I found myself when my mom died. I was that dude standing in the middle of the road trying to figure out to go right or left. and God sent me right. You know what I'm saying? So I'm grateful that he sent me right instead of left, because it was so easy at that moment to go left because I didn't feel like I had anybody. And so that was a filling the gap moment for me, because like most people would have quit, and God helped me keep going. And I wouldn't be the hezzy guy had I quit. So that was a major filling the gap moment for me too.
You know, that's a real thing for hoopers, like, or sport or athletes. I always say athletes and civilians. Like, I think people will never understand when you're a regular person, because as an athlete, like, it's almost that, especially when you're good and you like to compete, you have this standard for like everything. Even if I take my step, if I'm not a basketball player right now, if I go into a business forum, I need to compete at the highest level. It gives me this, like, I need to be seen in this room. And when I'm not, I got to get better at it, because you're going to see me eventually. Like, that's that. I completely feel you on that, for real. For real.
Man, I appreciate both of y'all for your transparency. Hezzy God, I know you got a busy schedule. I appreciate you taking the time to jump on. Always love. Shout out to your uncle.
Nah, for sure. It's always love.
Man, always. I
Always
can't
love.
wait to get out there. When I get out there, just get you on here. We going in a couple months. Now that we free, when we get out there, we will pull up. I think Monty had something she wanted
For sure.
to about.
Say that again.
I said Monty had something she wanted to ask you off the strength. We on the phone.
What's up?
You trying to get a one-on-one?
Okay, so look, I normally only do it for the bread, but for you, since we're alumni together, I do it for you.
Come on, let's get it.
I do it for you. I do it for you. I don't normally get down with the ones unless the bread on the line, but I do it for you.
We gotta get it, man. That's love, man.
Yeah.
Well, people, thank you as always for joining. Thank you. I hope something was done or said that helps the people that were listening to just keep going, right? Get some mental toughness, get some accountability. When that little voice speaks on the inside that tells you to go right and not left, listen, that's God telling you where to go. Start saying yes to that right voice. Please start saying yes. And if you need us, hit us up. Make sure you follow at Amani Clo. I'll put the handles out there, and make sure you follow the Hezzy God. All love. I appreciate you.
I appreciate you for having me on.